What is going on, everyone? What's happening, everyone? This is Ashley Schuler, host of the Systems Lab Live, and welcome to the Monday edition of the Systems Lab Live. I put out the schedule. It is on my Instagram, and I did put it on Twitter. I don't know if I put it on LinkedIn quite yet. But maybe I'll just go ahead and repost it. But essentially, what I did is I put out the schedule for the rest of the live streams of the month. I'm also will do that for December, and I'll do that moving forward so that you guys know and can plan ahead. You all can plan ahead. And so we have a lot of different types of exciting live streams that are happening. And I'm just going to go over to just the iPad really quickly so I can just quickly remember the post. Okay, yes, this was. So we're just having 5 for the rest of the month of November. So we're talking about workload balance tonight. Then on tomorrow, we are doing show and tell, 3 ways to optimize ClickUp. I did a audio summit for Bree Boucher, and it was called Get Your Systems Together to Launch. And so one of the platforms that are great for launching is using a project management tool called ClickUp. And so it's cool because it's all audio, which is really great. What's going on, Nathaniel? And we're going to talk a little bit about ClickUp terminology and best practices tomorrow. Next week, I got too much work, the finale, and we're going to talk all about the apps that should make your team thrive. Then on 11:15, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving inside ClickUp, and also just I probably just best practices too with just managing some of the more personal side of personal projects, more so than the professional ones inside a PM tool. And we'll probably also do this. Might be a perfect opportunity to do a tour of Todoist. So there was a live stream that I did, and it was on Todoist. And guess what happened? It was all on mute for whatever reason. What's going on, Amy Boxing from Title Boxing in the RIC? I had a fantastic time. About 3 or so years ago, I took a class, Amy. I took a class and you were teaching, and it was awesome. It was like 12 rounds. It was intense. What's happening, everyone? And so we'll do that. We'll do managing Thanksgiving inside of ClickUp, and then we'll just do like personal productivity with Todoist, which is a really cool app. And then 11:28, we'll be off from Thanksgiving. We'll be rested. We're going to do biblical principles of time management. So we're reimagining time and tasks. So this is going to be an exciting one. I will be carving out some time to do some slides. I regularly do slides all the time, but I really want to I'm going to have some really great information to share with you. I did it inside of a private mastermind group as well, but I'm going to be expanding upon that. I'm going to take a portion of that, and then I'm going to expand upon that, because we often say, I am not great with my time. I don't know how to manage my time, but I believe in what's worked for me. I believe in setting some of these foundational principles that have actually helped me and graced me to be able to do certain things. So I want to be able to showcase that and talk about the biblical principles of time management. And that's going to be a very exciting live stream, and we'll make sure to get you all tapped in. And that will probably be one of the ones that I will just leave up on the YouTube channel. For any updates that you are looking for around the Systems Lab, crew text live to 626-722-5444. Let me put that up here on the screen and type it here. And I just want to let the link, it's not LinkedIn, sorry, the Instagram folks, that we are live on YouTube. We are also live on YouTube for the visuals. Okay. We're live on YouTube for the visuals, link in bio. And I had a new little update for my solo.2. My little, you call like the link in bio. Folks, there's like so many of the link in bios out there. I had something called the Yat, which I think it's a really cool, it's like emojis. I often like that a lot, but I think this one, let me just go right here and just show y'all. Let me show you guys this on the YouTube. Let's share my screen. This is just another little, just another little update, right? So this is the page, right, where people can kind of see. So I actually embedded a welcome on here. So now you all can see. So there's a welcome right here. And then there's a link to the Get Your Systems Together Summit. Then there's the Work with Ask Ash, Connect with Me Online, Connect with Me Offline. The live show, the podcast, the book study that I'm doing currently, Kingdom Change Agents, and Black Women in NFTs. And then if you feel moved to, buy me a tea, then you can go to the kind of like support my content type of thing. But I think, this is a nice little page right here. I do have to, I have to think to myself, because I have this one is this one right here, and I have to switch it. This is one of my networking ones that I use for conferences. So I have to decide, do I need to just cut one or not? But this is actually one of my favorite ones. I use this a lot for people that I meet at conferences. I have this little share button, and people can, just connect with me, has all my socials, way to work with me. If there's a session just to connect with a 15-minute, it's all right here. Podcast, text community, all this other stuff. I don't have the other stuff, but that's okay. So this is just the networking one. And of course you can share. And I put this on some networking things here as well. People can do the QR code and whatnot, or a virtual background, or email signature, or what have you. People can kind of save the contact information. So, there's a lot of, different ways that you can connect with folks, and all of that. So we're going to get straight into it. Okay, let me go back here. Hold on. I'm going to go to present mode inside of Miro. This particular quarter, we are, okay, here we go. We are presentation mode. We are exploring Miro, which is a flow charting tool. So if you are a consultant, service pro, if you're a content creator, you should be utilizing flow charting, whiteboarding tools to communicate to your team members, to your audience. I've been using Whimsical for years. There won't be no whimsical, non-whimsical usage, but I have been always impressed by Miro. But I just decided, let me just see all of what I can do with Miro before I kind of make a decision on, what I want to go with. But I will probably still return back to Miro, but excuse me, to Whimsical, but we'll see. Today's mug of the moment is by the Yeti, Team Yeti. And if you go right here, if I carefully turn it, which I did, you will see a nice little Ashley Schuler logo situation that was developed by Nick Rich, fantastic graphic designer and artist. This was really good. I enjoyed it. And I am a sucker for a nice mug. All right. There's nothing like them. I am considering something called the Ember Cup. Why? No one knows why. I think it's pretty cool. I also have the swell for tea. Okay. This keeps it really hot, the swells. So I got Corsical, which is great. I got a nice little travel one for that. And for me, it's all about how hot you can keep things, especially if you're a tea drinker. Let me go and share my screen because you guys got to see, this is like fantastic. And I don't, and let's just be very clear. We don't even, like need something like this, but I think this is fantastic. And they're now they have the red edition for World AIDS Day and everything. And so, but they got like the bronze, or they get the black. I was thinking about this, but I don't know again if I necessarily need that. But if I shop now, and if I were to do it, I would go with the 14-ounce edition. You're probably wondering, what is this claim to fame that we speak of? Well, the whole thing about these particular mugs is that you can actually do temperature control with your phone, with your smartphone. So it's $149. Yes, it is. That's what the pricing is. I'm not here to talk about pricing right now. We're here to really focus on, what what it's supposed to do. Smart LED, built-in battery, okay, auto sleep, temperature range, great stuff. And it's supposed to keep things warm. Now, dilemma is, you know, swell here, this joint will be hot for a good 2 hours, you know. So, these are some of the things that I've been thinking about for like months on end. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program because we have a few things to cover tonight. As I alluded to, we are talking today about workload balance. We've been talking about work management, and I'm going to bring up my Notion notes, notion.so. I'm going to pull this up. Oh, wrong thing here. Systems Lab Live. I'm going to go here. Workload management. We're going to get into the first segment of this show where we talk a bit about the final aspect of this Loom report. Okay. So tonight we're going to cover 5-7 minutes Loom collaboration report. And they are essentially, the report is all about finding your team's superpower, which is collaboration. We're going to talk about how to balance it all, and we're going to talk about next steps. So let's get into it. A few key things that I just want to pull out from the report. Okay. Okay. So the name of the game here is, and I wanted to, I'm going to actually, okay, yeah, I wanted to pull this out just a bit. But how to make collaboration your team superpower. So a few things to consider is in the very first sticky, okay. And let me make sure this looks good for y'all. Okay, perfect. All right. So to build a healthier workplace culture, effective change is a must. Okay. Talking about change management and async communication model. So I just pulled those things out. Okay. Right. So I want to talk a bit about change management for a minute. Change management is a process of overseeing and facilitating change at any level where it occurs. So we're not even going to make this super deep at all. Change management. Again, this could be how you're hiring. This could be your particular podcasting process. This could be about a particular system implementation. This could be a process improvement from your virtual conference or summit. This is also this also this is really about change management. Allows you to assess your situation and why change is needed, align your efforts and resources, and manage the change itself. So this is about, and this is why it relates so greatly to what we've been talking about for the past 5 weeks, which is about work management. All right. And I think this is important, for us to lean into, because when you're looking to build processes, whether it is like, how you process inventory, okay, those that have e-commerce businesses, right? You're going to want to assess, the impact of your change and what you're looking to change, right? So when you're talking about making improvements for a process, big or small, you want to reach out to your team members, seek out information, and just know that iterative change is the best, right? I think we often get caught up in thinking that we have to make change. It has to be drastic and it has to be, like, ooh, like we're doing something new. Sometimes it's really just about, we're going to start building and moving towards this particular new way of doing things. Even when it comes to async communication model, you can't just say on a Tuesday, we're slashing all the meetings, and then tomorrow we're just communicating in Slack. See ya. That's not it. That's not it at all. Okay. You want to start making iterative change. You want to develop a process. You want to get feedback. And then you start making the incremental change. Ask for feedback, X, Y, and Z. How's it working? All the things that go on. Okay. Async communication, I'm a big fan of it. Async communication says, let me go and, oh no, I think we're in presentation mode. Oh, hold on, folks. Okay, I want y'all to see this on the. This is like the weird thing with Miro. Okay. Oh, this is what I see. I was looking for this. Okay, y'all, we making things on the fly. See? I thought this was right here. It was not. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Okay, I think we got it. Cool. Let's get back to it. I'm telling y'all, on the fly. On the fly. Can we? Okay, cool. So we're gonna go back to this. Okay, asynchronous spectrum. This is from. Oh, and let me go out here a little bit. Okay, cool. This is from Todoist. I got this from this article. I believe it was Todoist. I usually try to save all of my articles because there'll be some sort of like research or something that I'm doing. And I go back to the library. I for sure go back to the library. I would put it in productivity, but as we're talking, I'm gonna look for it, but or maybe I did not. Anyway, what we're looking at right here is the asynchronous spectrum. So synchronous communication happens in real time, with team members having meetings via phone, video, or in person, or responding to messages immediately on the group chat or email. Prioritizes speed of collaboration. That's synchronous communication. Now, synchronous communication should not be thrown out. What is it that the people say? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater or something like that. I don't know, how I've always felt about those comments. It was like, why are we throwing little people out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Synchronous. These are where teams and these are where companies are, right? These are where teams and companies are. Let me adjust this as well. Okay. Okay, perfect. So this is what we're doing right now. We're on the phone, we're on Zoom, we're asking about updates. Pro tip, meetings should not be solely on status updates. You should literally leave status updates to like either the way beginning or like super at the end, because you have project management tools that are there for the single source of truth to let you know where the status is, why it's there, what's the status, and what's the next step. So where companies should be now, this is where the evolution is. Asynchronous, writing or pre-recorded videos only, with team members reading, viewing, or responding on their own schedule. Prioritize individual focus and productivity. So we've seen via the pandemic and the new way of working, we went from synchronous, live, in your face, I need answers right now, and if you don't give them to me, there is something wrong with you and you need to do it. I've emailed you and I'm going to call you 30 seconds later that says, how come you don't respond to my email 15 seconds after I send it? That's kind of how it goes. Asynchronous says what we've learned in these past couple of years, and even before that, because the asynchronous culture was percolating, right? It was bubbling up some. Asynchronous says, listen, I'm not about me being all up in these Zoom calls. I've built myself a life that revolves not only work, and I like it. We're going from the perspective of the person who's like, listen, I'm about building out balance. So no, I'm not going to be working round the clock. Absolutely not. We're not going to be doing that. But in a day and age where people are working remotely, they're setting their own schedules. They want to make sure that their mental health is taken care of. Spiritually, they're okay. Physically, they're doing good. They got time for the kids. They got time for themselves. They've taken up a new hobby. They want to have 4 and 5 days worth of we're going on adventures, right? And I can telework from anywhere and still get the job done and still perform. And so asynchronous allows people to be present when they need to be present to get the work done. It allows people who are in different countries and time zones to build a schedule and be able to respond accordingly. Okay, this is what we're doing with the async now. All right, so let's kind of go with let's go with the best practices, and we're going to get into more of this next week. We talk about team apps and what you need to survive. Best practices with async communication. Start with your own team. You don't have to, if you're in an organization, start company wide. Just start with your team. Team 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, or however large the team is. Engage team members in the development of the process. This is not, I am instituting this. We are instituting this. This is what's going to be the benefit, right? Increase access to information with shared cloud-based tools. Ooh, this is going to be good. Shared documentation, organized file sharing, project management, and team communication. So project management, both in the tool perspective, but we also know too that project management is the process in itself, and also the skill set of being able to manage the projects. Okay, so just want to make that distinction. Project management is not an app. it is a tool to manage a process, and then someone can actually, who's the implementer, the person that is the launch strategist or the launch manager, right? That's the person that is functioning in that role to execute the project. Team communication. That again goes to team communication is not Slack. It is a process, and it has the tool component along with shared documentation and organized file sharing. Best practices. You want to make something. You want to make sure that you have single source of truth, a place where people can access documentation without you, file sharing at any given time, know the project status and where they are plugged in, and then how to communicate as a team. This, my friends, concludes the Loom report, and it's outstanding. I just kind of dig this stuff. So this was great. You can, get Loom's report. Text me. This is another thing, and I can drop the link to you. If you're interested in the report, it's a fascinating little read. Text live to 626-722-5444. I'll drop that link so that you can have it. All right. Well, we're going to talk a bit about process and flow, work management. We're going to talk about workload management. All right. Let me go right on up in here. So the story so far is that, and maybe I should just go back one before we just get into setting ourselves up for success. The story so far is this. Work management helps teams organize their workflows, whether it's a project, ongoing process, or routine tasks. That's what work management is. Okay. Work management can include project management, but this is really looking at what are we doing overall. Okay. And being very specific about these work management processes. Everything from, admin workflow, like, answering inquiries from potential clients, hiring, content production process, podcasting. Okay. Any type of processes that team members do. And I'm just naming lots of different ones. They don't necessarily all tie together. In the e-commerce world, the production of producing t-shirts and pants and hats and socks and those types of things, right? That's what we talk about. So, what does work management do? It brings clarity and visibility to team members across all levels. Work management helps teams to hit their goals faster. Why is that? That is because when you become clear about what you need, when you can focus on particular processes, then will you see results. So there are work management tools. You're going to hear a lot. I'll say project management tool. You're going to hear work management tool. You will hear, it's all in the same family. You need it. You need it. You need it. There's ClickUp. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. There's Asana. Choo, choo. There is Notion. Doot, doot. There is Trello. Bleep, bleep. Oh, I don't know if we'll just go on. There is Teamwork. Woo to the who. There's so many of these tools that are out there. And so we want to be super honest and say that our little paper checklist, come on, pen and paper squad, our little paper list, they ain't helping nobody. They ain't helping nobody no way. You are not managing a project, paper and penning it up, in terms of it being successful, right? That's exactly what I mean. Okay. So it's about coordinating the work, resources, people, deadlines, so that so that people know and can understand how are things interrelated. I think work management processes and things take time. I think it all depends on the maturation level. Like I feel like I'm saying what do you call a $quarter word? I don't think there quarter dollars. Yes, there are. Quarter. Hold on. $quarter. Yeah, $quarter coin. There you go. I thought, come on, y'all. Isn't there something that's like the quarter? Isn't there more? You know what I'm saying? Isn't there like the 50 cent coin? What is it called? Half dollar. Child. Struggle be real. Half dollar. Are there more? Shout out to the coin community because there's like a whole movement on that. Yeah, interesting. Presently, collector half dollars can be ordered directly through U.S. Mint, and pre 2020 pre 2002 circulation half dollars may be ordered through American banks and unions. Oh, in 2021, half dollars began to be produced for general circulation. Wow. Okay, so we went into a little bit of a rabbit hole on that, but that was interesting. Silver dollar. Fascinating. Is there anything above that? We'll put a pin on that for right now. So, with all that said, my point is that there's different levels, there's different maturation levels when it comes to selecting your work management tool. Workload management. So, I did want to just, before we kind of get into the workload management piece, I did want to share with you that according to the World Health Organization, the World Health Organization, the pandemic triggered a worldwide 25% increase in anxiety and depression. We as a people are less productive. This is what some of the research that I have performed. An economic inu has settled in among workers after experiences of the last few years. The term inu, a feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. Now, that right there, based on what I just said, to me says there was not enough. And again, this is just off the piece of I'm thinking now individual feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arriving. So there either wasn't any communication about your role, your position, or you just didn't see eye to eye. This is just what I'm thinking. No judgment either way, just in my mind. Companies and organizations are paying attention to burnout, listlessness, quiet quitting. So workload management is our key to our day to day. That's how I kind of, combat this aspect of feeling burnt out, right? I believe leaders, project managers should get ahead of that by understanding the workload of what's going on. You can't be expected to do all. No. Okay. And so workload management is a process of assigning work to a team in a way that distributes the load optimally among available resources. Work load management. In the comments, I'd love to know, have you heard of workload management? You may have heard it with the term, you know what, I got too much work. You may have heard this of, you know what, I'm at capacity. I'm at capacity. I don't want to have too much on my plate. And if you think to yourself, I wonder how I can have a better handle on knowing what my particular team needs, right? And so this is where workload management comes into play. The process of assigning work to a team in a way that distributes the load optimally among available resources, meaning that you're not going to ask your star volunteer or player, what have you, to say, you know what, I'm going to roll out to this particular concert and I'm going to have me a grand old time. And so with that said, that's what's going to happen. Now, wait a minute. Now, we're going to be really honest. Why did we say that we were going to a concert? We had a train of thought that went the other way. Excuse me and apologies. But workload management is a process of assigning work to a team in a way that distributes the workload optimally among available resources. So what that really means, again, we read it for the third time, but I don't know why we started thinking about going to a concert. Okay, I'm not sure where we're going. But we're talking about the even workload. And the way that you can do that best is by having a project management tool, is by assessing and looking at what type of hours people have. And maybe I was thinking a lot about, how you can really help your team members really understand, workload and workload management. What's going on, Latrice? And we have to be really cognizant when it comes to the types of projects and how we are in the project intake into our companies and what we want to take on, because we can't do everything. We shouldn't do everything. And I'm gonna give a little tease of something I'll probably be talking about a little bit closer to the end of the year and new year, is that when we're talking about the types of projects that you should be taking on, there should be an evaluation process. You can call it discovery call, intake, I guess, what have you, but there should be an evaluation process that you have on the criteria of the types of projects based on ROI, return of investment, time, the money, the team performance, all of those good things, where you can really evaluate. Somebody's coming to you with a project. You got your list, right? You got your evaluation criteria. That helps with workload management, because if you're already working on something, and something could be podcast launch, this could be a client project where it's all hands on deck, a virtual event, you want to make sure that the resources, the workload are distributed evenly. All right. Something for us to think about. So, a couple of points that I had there was that, the fundamental point that I made as a mini tangent to the workload management is you want to make sure that they're, especially for the project management piece, and especially if you're building out, and then again, it's a little high level, but building out a particular like project management office, or just you're getting real serious about the types of projects that are coming in, you want to have your evaluation piece and consider the resources and the people and all that. We won't go to challenges quite yet. We're just actually going to talk a little bit about why workload management is essential. And again, workload management is a process of just distributing and managing your team's work efficiently in order to maximize productivity. Mr. Matt D. Harris, how are you doing? I hope you're doing super, super well. Why is workload management essential? Right? Ensure that no project resource, the software, the time, the employee skills go to waste. Get a clear view of how your project is progressing. See which business processes is slowing down your work. Be informed of due dates and project budgets. Close communication gaps between different team members or departments. So I said a mouthful about why workload management is essential, but this is really about, we don't want to be wasting no time. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be wasting, any time, resources, people's skill sets. Workload management can give you a great perspective on how a project is progressing. It also can help you, especially if you're managing multiple projects, who needs to come off of one of the projects. What's going on, Deb, the counselor? You want to make sure you want to be informed of due dates and project budgets. So this is really important as well. Due dates, when are things due, right? In relation to the team member and what they are contributing. Okay. Woo, this is good. So having a workload management tool like ClickUp, like Asana, like Notion, it unites your team members under one umbrella to make things easier. Again, single source of truth. What is it? And do you have an accurate picture? Okay. Ah, the question then becomes, where do you start analyzing your workload balance with your team? Okay. So let's run through this. Okay. Let's run through this. What do we have here? Challenges with workload management: not properly setting time estimates, missing task requirements, too many deadlines, mismanaging task prioritizations. And then we'll kind of get into some best practices. But we have challenges, all sorts of challenges with workload management. We don't know how to properly estimate time estimates for tasks and for projects. You're missing out on task requirements. I did a live stream back in August on this, task management 101. Too many deadlines, right? Everything's due almost all at once. You want to check that. Mismanaging task prioritization. What do we know the order of prioritization? Do we understand what's required to get the project to completion? I'm using that particular word because I had a fantastic interview with Quantel Late, who's a fantastic project manager and online business owner, online business manager. And we talked about what does it mean to actually have a project and bring it to completion, land that plane. And sometimes with mismanaging task prioritization, we don't have all that. We ain't even have all that. Okay. So the question then becomes this: where do you start in analyzing your workload balance with your team? Here's where it comes. We'll bring the slide back up. I'll stop it for a quick minute. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the question. The question then becomes, where do you start analyzing your workload balance for your team? Team capacity. You need to figure out each team member's workload capacity. In ClickUp's workload view, you can set daily and weekly capacity for each individual based on your time limits. This is something that you can do inside of ClickUp. And I believe I have a short little demo on that, just something real quick. Task prioritization. Prioritizing includes deciding what order the task should be completed based on their importance. You got to be quick. You got to understand. You got to help your fellow leader understand prioritization. There is an order to things. I don't care what anybody says. There is an order to things. And you can do things like launch or experiment and just see how things go. Not mad at it. Not at all. But when I think about task prioritization, we're talking about prioritizing and deciding what order tasks should be completed based on their importance. And ClickUp has a priority feature as well. Urgent to low, they have. Task prioritization. You want to ask the question, Who does this impact? You, your client, your department, your company. Number 2, what is the reward or outcome for completing this task? How can you incentivize this experience? How can you do that? What is the risk of not completing the task? What is the risk? Because there's always some sort of risk that is often involved, but what is it? I also want you all to know about the ClickUp time estimate. You can add a time estimate to each task so that you can better predict when your team will be able to deliver their work. There's nothing like the accuracy of it all. Not just some of it, not just partial. You want to look at the full picture. Resource allocation. Come on, somebody. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but this is good to bring up again. Resource allocation is an important part of resource scheduling. Okay, we're going to nerd out for a minute, folks, which is the scheduling of tasks and association of resources and those tasks required to be completed. So this is why it's so good when you start to talk about the tasks and the work involved. You want to know from a workload and resource allocation perspective who's involved, what's required, time estimate, and proposed commitment. And you could be the right person for the job or you could not be. So don't be afraid to recommend people, because there's a great ministry in this work. And, you might feel like that's funny, but I'm serious. Those that are in the service pro world that's showing up and they're setting up, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay. So this is good because you want to practice smart workload distribution. Now it's something to think about. It's something to think about. Now, do I have this little thing open right here? And then we will close it out. The good thing for segment 3, we didn't really change much to that, but it's really about what's next. And so really what I would say, and I just want to back it up, right? Because there's so much great information over these past 5 weeks of this, right? Of this type of teaching and engagement. Go back to one of the older assignments, which was writing down the areas that are bothersome, that could use some more process improvement, that type of thing. You want to start there. Then you definitely want to start adding in to the project management process, time estimates. For sure. Time estimates. Okay. I'm going to go to list view. This is like pretty exciting. Okay. Here we are. All righty. And okay. Come on, Jessica's Rebranding Project. I'm actually going to go to workload view. See Ashley Schuler and Liz Schuler. Looks like Liz is in the red. Okay. Looks like Liz got, 48 hours over. Oops. So this is a great opportunity to look about what's scheduled. Group by assignee. Yeah, group by assignee. No estimate. Oh, okay. Let's get a little time estimate for project closeout. It's going to say 60 minutes. 1 hour. Okay. So we see right here is that from an 8-hour capacity, 9 hours and 50 minutes. So we're over capacity all the way through. So you can expand the row. Yeah. So this is, again, another great way of putting together the picture, right? Based upon, and this is how you do it, just in case you're wondering, okay, Ashley, how did you get, all of this? You want to, be able to, okay, I gotcha. Oh, we don't have Liz. Liz, where you at? We're gonna have Liz do this. And then we're gonna have this right here. Liz. Okay. So in this too, right? I just also want to go to today. Yeah. We're going to go into start date. I'm going to say even, no. Let's go into October 4th. And yeah, I'm just going to go to the 24th. Stage gate. And kickoff meeting. Oh, okay. Let's close that. I think it was a duplicate. So, as you begin to execution of this, see that content creation plan. Let's see. 11. We're going to put this right here. Oop. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Boom. So I have it grouped by status, and I can go to workload. And look at here. 49 minutes over. It's kind of breaking down where the danger is. 100 hours for the brand development. So maybe it's just 4 days. You see how it changed the workload capacity? It's not good. Content creation plan. Maybe we'll just make that shorter. Let's see. I'm going to change that up. Yeah, we just want 150 hours. Well, I'm just going to go with 7 days. Yeah, you see that? And then it changes it up so that you can really begin to see and look, how the workload view is. So this is interesting, right? So I just wanted to show this to you all. Just a quick demo. That's all that we have today. 54 minutes. I tell you, I kind of went in. I was super surprised as I did a back-to-back podcast episode, and praise God for the energy to do this. So we got this. We're here, and I'm excited. I'm excited about tomorrow. Talk all things ClickUp and whatnot, and that's about it. I thank you guys just for tuning in. Be sure to put this right here. Be sure to text live to 626-722-5444 just to join the text community. There's also some great information in the show notes. If you'd like to schedule also a time to review a project, you can most certainly do that as well. I'd love to just talk about what you're working on as well. I also have 2 available ClickUp consulting available as well. So definitely send me a message on IG or LinkedIn. Let me know if you are. I just always have a few sessions available, not a lot, but I do have some time that I'd love to devote just to helping you optimize workflows and whatnot. So that's it. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk soon.